Rangers of Shadowdeep by Joseph A. McCullough. In our last episode of the After School Specials, Thundar, Princess Ariel, Ukla, and good buddy He-Man tried to find their Ranger bro Aventine. They completely failed to do that. We didn't mention, I think they were sent on this mission by Ranger King Aragorn. And what they did do was save 2 villagers and kill a bunch of zombies and discover that the zombies were the result of poison injected to the villagers by spiders. They also found tracks that led them to the nest of spiders where they may be able to rescue some more villagers. Which brings us to Scenario 2, the infected trees. And what a scenario it is, too. We've got 2 different kinds of spiders. They have the exact same stats. They have a fight of 0 and an armor of 8. If they beat you in melee and they do any damage whatsoever, you are poisoned. You only get to take 1 action per activation instead of 2. You have to be healed all the way back up to 100% to be cured of that, and then it doesn't carry over. So it's a good thing that our barbarian ranger, he multi-classed, has fight plus 4 now. He is bumped up to level 2, and the heroes are going to come in on the south side of the table. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cocoons that must be searched, and then each of these tall white pine trees, the white is not snow, it's spider webs. If you burn those, you get experience points, and I think that wrecks one of the spawn points for the spiders. We are going to play 10 turns. We have 11 event cards that will be drawn after each turn. Well, we'll draw 1. So one of these won't be used, the other 10 will. And what an exciting time that is. If you wind up next to a cocoon, you can search it. It takes an action to burn one of these nest trees. Thundar and He-Man are going to accompany Ariel up the right side of the battlefield. Ukla is on his own out here. He can handle it. Ukla is also a tracker. He's actually modeled on the Savage template, but he has plus 5 tracking, which is good because if we can beat a toughness number 12, we can remove one of these spiders from the table. With a 16 we do, and let's go ahead and remove the spider closest to Ukla since he did the heavy lifting. That is it for the pregame prep. There is one other thing you can do, but it doesn't do me any good, to be honest with you. We can move 2 companions. That's why I put these 3 all together. For the ranger phase, we're going to move our big boy directly ahead 9 inches, both actions. He is going to draw the attention of the nearest spider. We are going to move our spellcaster up 8 inches, and He-Man is going to move up just a little bit as well, and he's going to stop right by that cocoon. Now, he doesn't have enough movement to get to that cocoon and search it. Because my table is a little short, I'm starting my characters right on the edge of the battlefield, so they can't move nearly as far. This is the lair of Shelob's children. Imagine there are webs crisscrossing the whole area. Anywhere you go as a hero, you can be sensed by the spiders if not seen. Makes moving spiders really easy in this one. The other thing that helps is the spiders can climb things really good. So they ignore all of the terrain. They'll just clamber right over it, which means all I got to do to move these spiders is immediately jump them 9 inches toward the nearest hero. Kablow, kablow, this spider will be just a little bit short, but the happy face spider will come into contact with our ranger, and we are going to be locked in combat right out of the gate. The spider has fight plus 0. Thundar has fight plus 4. If he wins with a result of a 12, and the red dice are always our hero, so he wins with a result of 21 to 9 for the spider. 21 minus the armor of the spider is armor's 8, 13 points of damage. This spider goes squish. That means anytime that Thundar wins with a roll of 12 or better, the total result of 12, even if he rolls an 8 and he wins, he squashes the spiders. So that's kind of good to remember. On our companion phase, Ukla the Mock runs up 7 inches to there. And again, he's further than 6 inches from the cocoon, so he cannot search it this turn. He'll have to do it next turn. The last thing we have to do is our event phase, which means drawing the top card of our deck, the 3 of Hearts. Roll for a random member of the company. So we're going to go just from left to right, 1 through 4. A 1 means Ukla has become entangled in that web. At the start of every turn, is it every turn? At the start of each turn, make a strength roll, toughness number 12. If it fails, it will not activate. If it succeeds, it activates as normal and does not have to roll again. So until he rolls 12. The good news is Ukla has a strength plus 5, so he only needs to roll a 7 or better on turn 2 in order to take an activation. That is it for turn number 1. For turn number 2, on the Ranger phase, we are going to activate our companion first. Tila is going to move 3 inches over to this cocoon and use her second action to search it. We roll a d20, and with a result of a 9, we have found a badly wounded but living villager. Treat this figure as one of your companions, and today we are going to rescue the village priest first. So he appears right there, bang, where the cocoon was, and if he can get off the table safely, we will score some extra experience points. Let's put him where you can see him right there, because there we go. So he's even got his cross. That's going to be it for her activation. Then we'll activate He-Man, who's going to charge up to this ice spider. He-Man has a fight plus 4, and as usual, the spider has a fight plus nada. So we get a total result of 16 versus 5. That is going to be another squashed spider, and I like the way this scenario is going. Then, on his turn, Thundar is going to move up, and we're going to run the same fight scenario again. This time, oh boy, Thundar loses by a score of 8 to 11. The 11 means Thundar has an armor of skill of 10, so he loses just 1 hit point, but that's all he needs to lose in order to be poisoned. Not only that, but he has to fight this spider. Same rules apply. He rolls an 18 to a 9, and now the spider goes, bye-bye. Because he's poisoned, we got to remember Thundar only gets 1 activation per turn. Ukla got tangled in the web he was trying to remove. He has to make a strength check of plus 12. And remember, Ukla has a strength plus 5, so he needs a 7 or better, or he cannot activate. With a result of a 20, he is just fine. He will use his first action to check this cocoon out, and we roll a d20. Compare it to the table, and with a result of a 6, we find a dead body. There is nothing that can be done for this poor soul. For his second action, he'll go ahead and move this 6 inches over to this cocoon over here. And that's the end of turn number 2, except we have to draw the second event card, which is a 10 of hearts. Checking 10 of hearts against our event table, we find place a zombie in a random table corner. I have a direction die. If I get north, south, east, or west, I'm going to rotate just 1 point clockwise. With the result of a southeast, we will get a zombie in the southeast corner. This may complicate getting the priest off the table over there. That priest can move 4.5 inches. That will be the first companion we move. He's going to race on over here to the other side of this briar patch. This is untenable, unmovable ground. You can't get through this unless you are a spider. Then we're going to move, now remember, Thundar only gets 1 action per turn. So we're going to move He-Man over to this cocoon, and he is going to take 1 action to see what's inside. We roll the d20, and with a result of a 16, comparing that to the table, we find a zombie. Place a zombie anywhere you wish within 2 inches of the figure. So another baddie shows up and says, hi, you were a little too slow, and we're just going to put him right where you can see him, right there, about 2 inches away. That is our second companion. Then we have to move our Ranger Danger, and I guess, do we move him into contact? We can't attack that zombie, but that will spring our He-Man bro back. So yeah, we're going to eat the battle there. There's our 3 movements. We still have to do Princess Ariel, but before that happens, our zombie is going to go, and so will that last spider. So this spider over here is going to move to attack Ukla, and we've got a couple of fights, and then we got one more zombie who's going to race as fast as his little legs. This guy that's on the corner is going to run over towards Ariel, and that's about as far as he can go. They can only move 6 inches on a double move. So let's take a look at these combats. Let's do Ukla first. Red die for the companion. He gets a total score of 14 with his fight plus 4. Now, he's really crazy strong. He is classed as wielding 2 weapons, 1 fist of iron, 1 fist of steel. With a result of 3 for the spider, That means this result is a 14, but for damage purposes, it's a 16. He does 10 points of damage, and this spider goes squish now. Then we are going to do this fight over here on the right side of your screen, Thundar and the zombie. And Thundar rolls a 17, the zombie rolls a 3. The zombie has an armor of 12. So the 17 becomes 5 points of damage. The zombie has 6 health. That zombie is still alive with just 1 health remaining. That leaves us with Princess Ariel and Ukla to resolve. Why don't we move Ukla first? He's going to check that cocoon, and with a result of an 11, there's only 3 possibilities: dead body, survivor, or zombie. He found a survivor, a badly wounded survivor. This time we're going to go with the woodsman. Appears right here in the center of that cocoon. Again, the woodsman moves 4.5 inches per turn. If he can get off the board, we score another 10 points. Experience points, that is. The last thing we have to do is Princess Ariel. And I think with Princess Ariel, we're going to race her straight up the battlefield. This may be a bit risky. She is going to race as close as she can get. Where is she? Can you even see her there? There she is. She is trying to get to one of these nest trees to burn it. She should be able to do that on the next turn. But before we do the next turn, we draw the next event card. We get the Ace of Hearts. Checking the Ace of Hearts for the event phase is place a giant spider adjacent to a random nest tree. Oh boy. That means we need our D4, and we're just going to go straight across the board. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And with a 3, that spider appears. Right, he comes clambering down. He says, "Hello, Ariel." "Step into my parlor," said the spider to the princess. See him over there? Yep. Okay. I have zoomed out to show you our survivors that are racing for safety from this zombie over here. Our first survivor is going to race 4.5 inches in this direction. He is going to be drawing the attention of that zombie. Our next survivor will go ahead and race 4.5 inches. Similarly, kind of racing at a diagonal, trying to put as much distance between himself and that zombie as possible. The last figure that needs to act is our barbarian. He only gets 1 action. He's going to use it for attacking, and with a result of it, 14. How about that? Remember, fight plus 4. The zombie has a fight plus 0. 14 minus the zombie's armor of 12 is 2 points of damage. The zombie goes sleep now. On the creature phase, the bad guys get to go. We only have 2 on the board right now, and I just checked the distances. Interestingly enough, there's 10 inches, there's 10 inches. I don't think that this zombie can see He-Man, at least not for his first activation. So if we move him up 4 inches, he's going to wind up there. And now he can see He-Man, who's right here. He's behind the, you can't see him. There's He-Man right behind the tree. So at that point, he's going to shift his movement and head for He-Man right there. That's going to be his activation. And then we have, oh no, Princess Ariel is not a fighter. This is going to be, does she have any fight in her whatsoever? She does not. We might have been better throwing some of her. She's got these laser blasters that count as throwing knives. Maybe we should have shot that spider. Even roll. Oh man, she pulls it off. Look at that. A 19 for the lovely Miss Ariel against a spider with an armor of 8. Means 11 points of damage. And she squashes a bug. I'm so impressed. Isn't that always the way? You think this guy needs to be protected, and then she just goes like full rage mode on you. And I think that's it for the monsters. Do we have any other? I thought we had another zombie. Oh, we killed it. That's what it is. So we have a couple of companions who have yet to go. Ariel has a movement of, well, let's think about this. We could probably, yeah, okay. So let's start by moving He-Man up to this cocoon here. Thundar is going to turn to face the zombie. He's going to say, "Come on, man." He-Man goes first. He searches this 5th and final cocoon, and he finds, on a 16, a zombie. Place another zombie anywhere you wish. Within 2 inches, we're going to put blonde zombie down right here. 2 inches and opposite Princess Ariel, because for her 2 activations, Ariel is going to run up here And we can check the distance there. Remember, she moves 6 inches. She's only 4 away. That's action 1. She's going to spend another action to try to burn down one of the trees. That means this tree goes away. Don't tell the Lorax. The next thing we do is draw one of our red cards. It's the 9 of Hearts. Here at the end of the turn, event number 9, disease. Any figure reduced to 0 health during this... No, that's not it. That's the one from last time. Red 9, place a zombie in a random table corner. Well, we've got our direction die. And he appears in the southeast corner. Oop, there it is, southeast. So same place as the other one. I think we kind of like that location. It's way away. And then it becomes our barbarian's turn. And I think we're going to do the thing. Now, our barbarian ranger only gets 1 action. So we're going to... I don't like this. I don't like this at all. We should have put this zombie right there so that He-Man could race over to the tree. I guess it doesn't really matter because either way, we're going to tie him up with our barbarian ranger. Thundar is going to go charge at the zombie. Now, because Thundar is still poisoned, that's all he's going to be able to do. We are going to get our friendly neighborhood priest off the table for a couple of experience points, and we are going to race this survivor 4.5 speedy little inches to there. And I think, will he be able to get off next turn? Just barely. I like it. That's it for the companion phase. Now we do the creature phase. First, we move a couple of zombies, and this zombie, who's the nearest visible survivor to this guy? If you can't see him, I'm not sure he can. I think he can see the fight way over here. I know you can't, but there's a fight behind that tree. So either way, let's just go ahead and bring him up. 6 inches is his double move. We could probably race him over towards that survivor. He's probably closer anyway. Yeah, so he's going to race off here toward the Axeman survivor that we rescued. And this guy is going to move to here. That is as close as he can get to He-Man, which means we have our fight left to do here. Thundar goes to town with a 16 versus a 20. This is going to be a tie, and they will remain locked in combat for another turn. The next thing we're going to do is... He-Man has not gone yet. He-Man is going to come over here and attack this zombie. He-Man rolls a 7 versus a 17. The 17 is a victory against He-Man's armor of 11. He-Man does have that heal on He-Man right over here behind this pine tree, bringing him up to 8 health. Having done that, she has 1 more action. She can move 3 inches towards the second nest tree, and then Ukla can move a total of 6, and 9 inches will put him about an inch shy, so he'll have to try and burn that tree on the next turn. That's going to be the end of the turn. We move on to the event phase, and we have the 7 of Hearts, which is place a giant spider next to a random cocoon. Well, we don't have any cocoons. If there are no cocoons, place it in a random table corner. We'll lead off with Thundar on this turn, fighting that zombie. He hasn't been having much luck. He scores a 13 versus a 15 for the zombie. Add the 4 for the fight. He-Man wins with a score of 17. Subtracting the 5 means the zombie is still alive with 1 hit point. Meanwhile, He-Man is going to take a stab at his zombie. And with a 19-2, He-Man will kill the zombie. And he has 1 move left to go. So he's going to use that move to support his buddy. Ukla is going to move 1 inch for his first action. For his second action, he will burn down the tree. Don't tell Smokey the Bear. Normally, that would end the Ranger phase with activating 2 companions in a solo game, but Thundar the Barbarian has call to action. Once per game, he can activate 3 of his companions. He's going to activate Princess Ariel, and she has an ability called Teleport, which allows her to teleport 9 inches, kablong, which puts her in touch with this tree, and she will set fire to it. Don't tell, I don't know, who else tells you not to burn down trees? There she is, right there. So we have now burned down 3 of the 4 trees. We're doing fantastic, but the creatures get to go now. For the creature phase, the nearest hero is over here, 9 inches for the spider and 6 inches for the zombie, puts them pretty close to our woodsman right here. Oh no. Now we still have to do a fight over there on the creature phase, but while we're here, I just want to show you that our woodsman is 4.5 inches from the table, but I'm going to put him at the edge, and I'm going to declare that it takes one more action to get him off the table. That puts me in an awkward situation, but I want to do that because my table's a little small, so to kind of compensate for that a little bit, I'm going to treat it as though there's a few more inches down here to the south. Meanwhile, this one hit point wonder is fighting for his life against both of the barbarian bros, and we're going to call it against the guy he was fighting before. That will be, he is attacking the already wounded Thundar. Now, Thundar scores a 9 plus 2 for the assist from He-Man. 11, 15 altogether is his score. Subtracting the zombie's 12 armor does 3 hit points, and that zombie is going to be out of the fight. Which brings us to the event phase. Drawing card, we get a 5 of hearts, which means we put a new nest tree down on the table in a random direction. I'm going to use my direction die, 12 inches from the center, which is right about here. So 12 inches to the northeast, we discover that there is yet another tree we didn't realize was there right next to Princess Ariel. Put one giant spider and one treasure token adjacent to it. Man, every time we think Ariel is doing a bang-up job. So here's our treasure token. I'll put it on that side, and here is our extra spider right next to it. And that will be, boy, we could use that teleport now, couldn't we? That will then be the end of the turn. On this next turn, we are going to get a little bit tricky, and we're going to move one companion. That's this guy right here is going to draw these enemies away. He says, I'm so grateful to my heroes that I'm going to risk my life by leading them away. Oh, is that kind of cheap? No, let's just move them off. So we've got 2 survivors that we've rescued. Like I said, the table's 3 inches longer. We're just going to get them off, take the experience points, and then we have to decide what we're going to do next. And I think the smart play here is going to be to bring Ukla the Mock 5 inches to this spider, and he's got to protect Ariel, doesn't he? Ukla is rolling with a +4. Ukla wins the fight with a score of 14. The spider does not have any fight. The spider has an armor of 8. So the 14 does 6 points of damage, and that will kill the spider. Actually, 8 points of damage. I always forget. Ukla has got the big guns, and that's one more spider. We do have to survive to the end of turn number 10. Thundar is going to race down in this direction, and with the plans to go after these enemies over here. That is his one action for the turn. Then it becomes the creature phase, and the nearest visible figure for the zombie, at least for the first 4 inches, is in this direction. And then the zombie goes, hey, wait a minute, there's somebody closer right there. Let me go shamble on over to him. Meanwhile, our spider is going to move a full 9 inches, and that will put him in contact with Thundar, but it won't be able to attack on this turn. Princess Ariel is going to move over to the tree, and don't tell Treebeard, I thought of one. Tree number 4 goes whoop, up in flames. That's the last of our companions. We go to the event phase, and with an 8 of hearts, that red 8 means it's event. The sun has gone behind the forest, and the forest has become dark. All shooting attacks are at -1. Maximum range 10 inches. I don't really have any shooters, so that's a good one for me. I like that one. Now we move on to the Ranger phase. How many more turns do we have left? We've only got 3 turns left from the looks of things. Our first companion will be He-Man. Will move and set fire to this tree. That is tree number 5. There are no more nest trees. Then we have to do our fight with the spider here. And let's see how we roll. With an 8 versus a 14, Thundar takes another chomp on the leg. Could have used some Galadriel's tears here, couldn't we? Let's figure out what happens. With a result of 14 versus 12, he has an armor of 10. He takes 4 points of damage. However, cut that in half because he's super tough. The last thing we'll do is have Ariel scoop the loot, and I think that's all she can do for this turn. Wait a minute. Yeah, and then Ukla has not gone yet, so we have to do our creature phase. Creatures activate in order of their health. Normally that wouldn't matter, but here our zombie is going to move first. He's got 6 health, which means the zombie will be able to come into contact with Thundar, so that when the spider attacks, the spider now has fight +2 versus fight +4 for our hero. So our hero does roll a 12, and that will be a successful hit. But going up against an armor of 8, he will only do 4 points of damage. Oh, which is enough to crush the spider. And Ukla will run 9 inches over to... He's going to stop right about there. We're going to bring our boys together kind of right about here, I think, on the next turn. Yeah, it's pretty good. Speaking of next turn, we still have to do our event card. A red 6. I hope we didn't just abandon Ariel to her fate. A bright ray of sunshine shines through the trees. Pick any one spider, move it 6 inches in any direction you choose. There are no giant spiders, so that one doesn't really have much of an effect. Could have used that last turn, I guess. But I'm not worried about it because I got to do my ranger phase. And no one is close enough to help our ranger, so it's going to be just a regular fight. I have rolled a tie, an 8 versus a 12. Take my word for it. I mean, if I was cheating, would I cheat myself into a tie? Give me a break. So he's going to keep on fighting. Then we'll start. Should we bring some backup? We'll bring Ariel, is going to move 6, and then 3 to here. And Ukla can move 6, and then 3 to here. And we can bring He-Man, is going to trust that they can get by. And they're just going to kind of gather in the center of the table for some mutual support. Oh, well, he's going to go, I guess he doesn't move yet, but he will. The zombie activates first, and the zombie is fighting now at a huge deficit. 23 for Thundar is going to do... What does a zombie have? He's going to do 11 points of damage, which will eliminate this zombie. We don't have any more else. Then He-Man runs up here. Thanks for the assist, Ukla. Then we draw our next card, and the 4 of Hearts is going to be roll for a random member of the company. That figure has become entangled in a giant web. Didn't we already do this once? Oh, the red 3 was the same one. Move that out of the way. And we've got a 1, 2, 3, and 4 to find out who is stuck in the web. And with a 3, Ukla, man, what is you doing, baby? I'm going to put a web right down on top of him. So on the next turn, he is going to have to bust his way out of there before he can move. And in fact, it is the next turn. So I don't know what we do. I guess we'll start. We got to play through 10 turns, right? Can we just hang out here and draw a new card? Ukla is going to try to escape. He needs a 7 or better. He only rolls a 2, so he's not going to take an action. I don't know that anybody can help him. I don't know if there's anything else to do. So we'll draw the last card. Oh, wait, is this the last turn? No, we have... Let me think about this. I think this is the last turn. We draw the 2 of Hearts. Place a giant spider adjacent to a random nest tree. If there's none, put it in the center point of a random table edge. But it doesn't matter because we're at the end of the turn. We're at the end of the game. We got through 10 turns. This 10th card isn't really going to do any good. So, how about that? The one event we didn't draw was the Jack of Hearts, which is place 2 giant spiders. That was kind of easy. I kind of feel like we got off light on this one. We fought some dudes. We had some fun. Had a few laughs along the way. Oh, we even found a treasure. Look at that. Go you, Princess Ariel. Why are they making her do the heavy lifting? Shouldn't they make the tough guy do it? A little bit weird there, Thundar. So how did we do? Well, we killed a total of 7 spiders and 4 zombies. That means we scored 22 experience for the creatures. We searched 5 web cocoons, so that's 20 experience for that. We burnt 5 trees, 25 there. And then there were no trees left on the table. That's a bonus of 8 experience points. And we were able to rescue 2 survivors for another 20 points. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 95 altogether. Yeah, not too bad, which brings our Thundar up to a total of 205. He had 110. So he is up to 205 experience points. We also found that treasure. But before we get there, being level 3 means we now have 110 recruitment points. And you know what that means. We are getting ourselves a doggo. Because for 10 recruitment points, it's either that or like some stiff, some puke, some farmer. I don't think so. Then we got to figure out what our treasure is. And to do that, we roll some dice. First, we figure out what kind of treasure it is. And with a result of a 5, it's gold and jewels. The ranger may gain 10 experience points or have one of his companions gain 1 progression point. So all 4 of our companions are at 4 progression points. We can put somebody at 5, or we can gain an extra 10 experience points for us. Thundar is a very generous soul. He is one of the heirs of Aragorn after all. He was recruited with that kind of spirit, so he's going to give that extra recruitment point to, I think you got to give it to, you got to give it, what do we want to do? I mean, these are 2 friends here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll on a 1 through 10, we'll give it to Ariel. On a 16, it goes to Ukla. So Ukla is now at 5 progression points. At 10 progression points, he gets a power-up. And with that, we are done for today. Although I would be remiss if I didn't show you exactly what our new companion looks like. Here is our classed as a warhound, but we all know who that is. He-Man has been saving his buddy for another day. Battlecat is entering the chat, and we'll see him in action along with the rest of our Rangers of Shadowdeep and his companions when we play through Mission 2, The Beacon. Oh yeah, we've got Knowles on the menu. Till next time, I'm praying for you.